Have you ever wondered why the hardest step is simply starting? Have you ever caught yourself saying, you will start that important project tomorrow instead of today? Meet Rohan. He is a young man full of brilliant ideas, but he always leaves his important work for the next day. His desk is covered with unfinished sketches and dusty notebooks. Procrastination has slowly become his most comfortable and familiar daily companion. Every morning, Rohan wakes up with great intentions, but the heavy weight of overwhelming tasks quickly crushes his fragile motivation completely. He stares at the clock ticking away. The illusion of endless time tricks him into believing that tomorrow will magically be better. Weeks turn into months, and his dreams remain locked inside his mind. A deep sense of regret starts haunting his quiet evenings. One gloomy afternoon, feeling completely lost and defeated, Rohan wanders into an old, dusty workshop at the quiet edge of town. There he meets an elderly mentor, a wise craftsman whose wrinkled hands have shaped countless beautiful masterpieces out of solid, hard stone. The old man notices the heavy burden of unfulfilled potential in his tired eyes and invites him to sit by the fire. Rohan pours his heart out, explaining how he constantly delays his goals because the journey seems too incredibly difficult and impossibly long. The mentor smiles gently and points toward a massive, unyielding boulder resting silently in the center of the dimly lit, dusty room. He hands Rohan a small metal chisel and a heavy wooden hammer, instructing the confused young man to strike the giant rock. Rohan swings the hammer with all his might. A loud metal clink echoes, but the massive stone remains completely unbroken and unchanged. He strikes again and again until his arms ache terribly, yet there is not a single visible scratch on the tough surface. Frustrated, Rohan throws the tools down. He tells the mentor that it is absolutely impossible to break such a massive, solid rock. The old craftsman calmly picks up the chisel. He explains that massive obstacles are never defeated by a single burst of energy. He gently strikes the stone once. He tells Rohan that the secret lies not in raw power but in relentless, quiet consistency. A single strike does nothing, the mentor says, but 1,000 tiny strikes over time will eventually bring down the mightiest mountain. This is the profound magic of small daily habits. You only need to focus on getting 1% better every single day. Rohan looks at the stone with newfound understanding. The terrifying mountain of work suddenly seems much less intimidating and far more manageable. The mentor explains that procrastination feeds on the fear of massive effort. Break your grand vision into tiny, almost effortless daily actions. Do not worry about finishing the entire masterpiece today. Just focus on making one small, meaningful strike with your chisel right now. Rohan leaves the old workshop as the sun sets. A warm spark of genuine hope replaces the cold dread in his heart. The very next morning, instead of planning a massive work session, Rohan simply commits to working for just 5 focused minutes. He opens his notebook. The blank page usually terrifies him, but today he only needs to write one single, very simple sentence. 5 minutes quickly turn into 20. By removing the enormous pressure of perfection, the creative words finally begin to flow quite naturally. When he finishes, he feels a tiny sense of victory. It is a small win, but it is a real step forward. The next day, he repeats the exact same simple process. Just one small strike of the chisel against the giant stone block. Slowly, he realizes that motivation does not create action. Instead, taking a tiny action actually generates the motivation to keep moving forward. There are still days when he feels extremely lazy. The old voice of procrastination whispers sweetly, urging him to rest until tomorrow. But then he remembers the wise old mentor and the massive boulder. He grabs his pen and makes just one tiny strike. Consistency starts to rewire his anxious brain completely. The heavy resistance he once felt begins to melt away into a comfortable routine. He learns to celebrate the tiny victories. Reading 2 pages or organizing his desk for 3 minutes builds massive daily momentum. Weeks pass by, and those tiny 5-minute sessions naturally expand. His once dusty desk is now a vibrant, creative hub. Rohan discovers that getting 1% better every day compounds beautifully over time, creating results he never thought were actually truly possible. He visits the mentor's workshop again. The old man is quietly sweeping the floor, humming a peaceful tune this beautiful sunny morning. Rohan proudly shows him a completed notebook. It is his very first finished project, built entirely through tiny, consistent daily effort. The mentor smiles warmly and leads Rohan to the back room. The massive boulder they struck weeks ago is now completely split. It was not the final strike that broke the mighty stone, but the invisible accumulation of every single tiny blow before it. Rohan finally truly understands the profound lesson. Greatness is never an overnight event. It is simply the result of small, daily choices. You might be watching this video right now while actively avoiding a difficult task that you know you really must finish today. You tell yourself that tomorrow will bring more energy, more time, and more inspiration to finally tackle that massive, overwhelming mountain ahead. But tomorrow is merely an illusion created by your mind to protect you from the temporary discomfort of starting something difficult today. The truth is that the perfect moment will never arrive. The stars will never perfectly align to make your hard work effortless. You must become the craftsman of your own life. Pick up your chisel right now and make one tiny, seemingly insignificant strike. If you want to write a book, just write 1 paragraph today. Do not worry about the chapters that will follow later. If you want to get fit, just do 5 push-ups right now. It sounds ridiculous, but it builds the vital habit loop. Your brain is wired to conserve energy, which is why starting always feels like pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill. Lower the barrier to entry so drastically that it becomes absolutely impossible for you to say no to that tiny daily task. Once you start, the physical momentum takes over completely. An object in motion naturally tends to stay in motion without much effort. Remember that time is going to pass anyway. A year from now, you will either have a finished masterpiece or empty regrets. Do not let the fear of a long journey paralyze your potential. Focus only on the step directly in front of you. Small habits act like compound interest for your personal growth. They might seem invisible initially, but they eventually create massive, beautiful transformations. Think about a heavy airplane taking off. It requires a tremendous amount of fuel just to leave the runway and get airborne. But once it reaches the correct cruising altitude, it glides smoothly through the sky with significantly less effort and minimal fuel consumption. Your new habits are exactly the same. The initial resistance is fierce, but consistency will soon put your progress on comfortable autopilot. Embrace the beautiful boredom of consistency. Success is rarely glamorous. It is usually just doing the mundane things repeatedly without giving up. Forgive yourself when you slip up. One missed day will not destroy your progress, as long as you return to work immediately. Never allow a single mistake to become a completely new negative habit. Pick up the chisel again and strike the stone tomorrow. Rohan transformed his entire life not by making a massive leap, but by taking tiny, deliberate steps forward every single day, consistently. You have the exact same power residing within you right now. The giant stone of your dreams is waiting for your chisel. Stop waiting for the mythical tomorrow. Reclaim your power today by taking the smallest possible action toward your most deeply desired goals. Let the gentle mind shift happen within you. Shift your focus from the overwhelming mountain to the simple, beautiful strike of today. As you build these tiny daily habits, you will slowly watch your entire reality shift into something truly magnificent and deeply fulfilling. Thank you for walking this inspiring journey with us. We hope this story gives you the courage to start your work today. Please remember to subscribe to our channel for more stories that will help you grow 1% better every single beautiful day. This is Gentle Mind Shift, reminding you to take that small step right now. We will see you in the next video.